welcome to Inside Culture Season 3. I'm your host, Melody Thomas, and this is my co-host,
NEV592.
Now, we are so excited for this new season. We've been waiting for a while, but we wanted to start this off a little bit different, and we wanted to look at Guyana and its culture and where we're headed in the future. So culture is always changing, but where are we headed right now?
Now, today's focus features a cross-generational roundtable that brings together young innovators and seasoned cultural icons to envision the future of Guyanese culture in art, music, film, technology, and identity.
So, of course, we had to handpick some of the best innovators in their fields right here on Inside Culture. So we're going to introduce them like this. Tristan is our web creator. Say hi, Tristan, to the camera.
Hi, everyone. So nice to meet you.
Second, we have Big Red, who's an artist. Well, everyone knows Big Red. Like, she's a veteran in the business. So queen. Okay. And we also have Miss Karen Abrams, who's from STEM Guyana, one of the directors. Is that right?
Yes, the director.
The director. All right. And then we have Matthew Jeffrey, who's influencer and designer. Awesome. So what we wanted to do is just, ask a few questions as to where you guys think, Guyana is headed in the future. Because I think it's so important, not just for the older ones like myself, but for the young people to have an opinion or what their vision is going forward. So we wanted to just start off with a simple question for everyone to answer. So when you think Guyanese culture in 2030, what do you see? And I'll start with Tristan.
2030. That's a lot of people think 2030 is like really far away. It's very close.
Yeah.
Everything's moving at like a really fast pace right now. AI technology, designing, everything's like getting way faster. I think Guyana is catching up as a third world country with a lot of first world countries. I think the important thing is that it's a bit off screen here, but I think the important thing is that we keep our culture while doing all of this.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see Guyana in 2030, I'm thinking a country with high infrastructure, well-developed, educated people, and just a country that's able to move on its own with a bit less dependency on external.
So I totally agree with everything you say there. Karen, what do you think of that?
I think I like that vision. I have a vision for 2030, but that vision requires our young people to be prepared today.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, a good half of our young people drop out of the school system.
Yes.
And I think it's important that we find ways to bring them back in and to make them competitive. Our population is so small that we can't afford to lose not one of those young people. Everybody needs to contribute. So the vision I have is that we use technology to help to meet our young people where they are, whether they drop out in the second, the third, the fifth, the 10th. We have artificial intelligence technology today that can meet them where they are and bring them to a level where they can contribute meaningfully. Yeah. So that's my vision for 2030.
Red, what do you think in terms of
repeat that question?
Yeah, definitely. So what do you think of Guyanese culture in 2030? When you think of it, what do you see in the future?
Yes, I wanted to hear the culture part because I knew we were talking about culture here. That's
right.
Because we're not talking about Guyana in the whole, we're talking about the culture. What's really happening. That's why I said to repeat the question. Because there's so much happening when it comes, especially with the young people. Like I said, the creativity is crazy. And I must say, even as myself and the elder folks that are in the business or that are doing culture, we should work along with the young people. I mean, we tend to say, oh, you don't know anything because you just born in, but sometimes they have crazy ideas. And for me, I see them working together and bringing so much excitement and so much creativity for 2030. I see that. I see my skin grow when I talk about it because I'm watching young people, watching where they're going. I'm watching where their mind, they're thinking out of the box. And that's the most amazing thing. And I don't think we should step back. We should be a part of what's happening with the young people. You understand?
Right.
Be a part of the creativity, part of what's happening with them. And they might even learn some stuff from us too. We can both learn from each other.
That's what I think really happens in this world is that we learn from each other, young and old doesn't really matter.
Exactly. So I think I see us culture-wise, being even better than some countries. I must say, I don't know. That's me.
Well, that's your opinion, You can't knock a girl for her opinion now. Yes, what do you think? Where's your vision when you think, okay, 2030, what is Guyana going to look like? Even from your field of expertise.
I'm so excited for 2030, to be very honest. For me, I see Guyana as a whole being grounded and being seen globally, right? And like Bigger had said, working with young people is amazing, right? And the fact that she can come out to say that working with us is actually crazy, I love it, right? So in 2030, I see Guyana as a progress, right? As an influential country towards other countries.
Right. I love that. I think it's all positive vibes at the end of the day, but I think the most important thing I got from this is that we need to work together, the young and the old, and everybody. I need to cross over into specialities also, you know, because technology can work in fashion can work in technology.
Yeah. But culture is everything.
Exactly.
It's more than it's education, it's technology,
But that's why I wanted to have this conversation, because a lot of people think culture, but what does culture really mean?
Yeah.
Culture is your music, it's your art,
right.
It's your fashion, it's your tech, it's your mind.
It's who you are.
It's just who you are as a person
Yeah.
within this society. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely agree with all that you said as it relates to what culture entails. And, you know, my vision for Guyana, hopefully, is to see us, you know, with a unique identity as it relates to those aspects of our culture, you know. In 2030, the world must be able to look at Guyana and see that we have our own unique music, we have our own unique fashion. And, you know, even when we look at the other creatives among us, you must be able to identify this is a piece of work that is associated with Guyana, because, you know, we have established ourselves so well and established that identity so well.
I love that. I think this is such a needed thing.
Yeah.
I know you were like saying yes, because you totally agree.
Now our work should speak for itself. People must look and say, okay, they don't have to ask, oh, that's from Guyana. So when you go into a room or you see something anywhere and it turns up, you think, oh no, that's from Guyana. So we're really standing up. I think we're heading there.
Definitely heading there.
I'm big enough my conscience.
Yeah, definitely enjoying the roundtable discussion so far.
Amazing.
And our next topic, we're going to be talking a bit about cultural roots and shifts. So the first question I'd like to ask the panel is, what parts of Guyanese culture must never change? Can we start with you, Ms. Karen?
I think building community. I think the idea of the way we support each other, the way if something happens to you in any village in this country, it doesn't matter what race or ethnicity you are, we build community, we stand for each other, we help each other out. I think that's powerful. I think that also we must think in terms of exporting our culture, because remember, we have a diaspora that's more than 1 million people.
Of course.
So as we talk about strengthening our culture here, I think we have to find ways to package it and to continue to package it and export it abroad so our young people can benefit. So those are some of the things I think about. But really, the sense of community, I think, is something that we should never lose.
I love that.
And just to add to that a bit, you know, we grew up hearing that it took a village to raise a child. And I think, you know, one of the things that we should never stray away from is as it relates to how we discipline our children and how we raise our children as a nation. You know, I think we've since moved away from our conventional ways of disciplining children. I think basically because of what the outer world is actually promoting and advocating for, you know, whether someone might say, okay, anyway, that's old fashioned or new fashion, I think that is Guyanese. And I think, you know, that is what made each and every one of us here today who we are, you know, that part of being disciplined in that way and being brought up in that way, you know, even being disciplined from your neighbors or your extended relatives. You know, you don't really see a lot of that happening these days, and it's kind of like a shift away from that culture, which I'm hoping, again, as Karen mentioned, you know, that community spirit, that community vibe, you know, everyone takes responsibility as it relates to if a child, you know, is going down the wrong path. It's everyone's responsibility, and I think we should, you know, keep that. And that's a big part of, you know, who we are as Guyanese people, that, you know, everything is everyone's concern, and, you know, we care about an individual. Everyone in the community cares about that.
I think I agree with you in terms of, like, you know, the whole community needs to be vigilant as to what's happening with children, because it's not just your child, it's everyone's child.
Is there anything else that we can say that we should hold on to as a nation? One other thing comes to mind as it relates to us as a Guyanese that identifies us easily is our dialect. And I think
yes.
over the years, it's something, especially in the capital city of Georgetown, you might be puzzled as it relates to if a person is Guyanese or not. So how do you guys feel about the way that we communicate as Guyanese?
I think that's gonna change. It's going to change. It changes all the time. We're just here a moment in time.
Yeah.
I mean, the dialect, if you look at 100 years ago in certain places in Guyana, was completely different from the way I run a STEM club program, and the young kids that come in there, they're watching television, they're interacting with kids from other places. They don't sound the way we sounded when we were in school. So I think culture also shifts over time, language shifts over time, our accents will shift over time. None of this is unusual, I think. But I like the fact that when I walk into a store in the United States, I hear that accent. I can turn around
right
and
away.
my people, right? I love that. So I don't know. I need a balance there. I can appreciate that it could change, but I love that feeling when you're overseas and you hear that accent. You're just like...
Man, there's just particular phrases that they say, now you're going straight on.
Or they have a Guyanese spirit.
Yeah, especially if you're in a place, not like New York, because you hear that all the time. But if you're in a place like maybe Georgia or other places where you don't hear Guyanese accents as much, and you hear that, it's just a powerful, nostalgic thing, and I appreciate that. Yeah.
What do you think?
I feel like our dialect is very authentic. Like she said, it's a good feel to know that you can just go out there and just say, oh, this is a Guyanese. And the fact is that you can differentiate it. It's so cool. And I feel that should just, like she said, it won't be staying forever, but it's something that will be very important to us. That's to be identified.
And I think a lot of people say this about music because you're an expert on the music right now. So what do you think about Guyanese artists putting in a lot more of the dialect or our specific phrases in
I've
the
been
music?
singing my own dialect. My music is my music.
Well, you are different.
I don't care about anything else. Once I was in the States, and the guy said, you guys stop singing about Guyanese things on me. He was up the road, down the road, and I was like, listen, if I gotta make it without singing about Guyanese and singing like a Guyanese, me gonna make it because I was a Guyanese. And I was on a train once, and I was talking about dialect because I was talking to this guy in the train. He's like, oh, where are you from? I'm from the Caribbean. He said, well, she said, I can't pick up your accents. I said, Guyana. He said, but you're not sounding like a Guyanese. So I'm like, what does a Guyanese sound like? So we kind of have different dialects in Guyana because you might hear an Indian speaking like he's accustomed to hearing Indian. So it's like, but I live in Florida and the Guyanese don't speak like that. So I said, I'm Guyanese, but I just speak maybe proper English, but I'm a Guyanese, that's how I speak. And so our dialect is it's already changing, it's different because we have people from the countryside who speak different than the people from Georgetown.
Exactly.
So it's kind of different. So even when you go abroad, people might say, she's not Guyanese. That's not because he's accustomed to hearing a Guyanese speak in a certain way.
But I think,
So it's already different.
So
we already have a different.
In terms of the dialects and stuff, for you, how do you think that translates in your field?
Well, technology is like plain words, a lot of it. If you're going to do something like maybe advertising, you kind of need to know the people you're going to reach out to.
Right.
So in terms of researching, you have to know what dialect they speak. Again, this is a very tricky question. But yeah, I agree with everything you said. The dialect is different everywhere. Like persons are going to be home, their entire family might speak the rawest Creole ever. But they're going to watch some silly little cartoon, and then they're going to have a British accent.
Yes, the kids.
I think we play a lot when it comes to that.
It's like Peppa Pig, right? It's like so many kids I know watch Peppa Pig and now they talk like Peppa Pig.
Most of my little cousins, they have like this accent.
Yes.
Like they sound so American.
I noticed it.
I love the young kids.
It's like somebody going, oh my gosh, your American accent is very strong. Oh, how long have you lived there? I've never lived there. Yeah, I think that's one of the most important things about the dialect. I love it. It makes us unique. It makes us stand out. I want to hear a lot more of it in the music as well from Guyanese artists. But I'm definitely loving this roundtable conversation. I think it's so necessary. It's so relaxed and it's a vibe. But we'll be back right after the break.
Furnishing your apartment complex. Kissoon's local and imported line of living room, bedroom, and dining room furniture will have heads turning. Shop in store today. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
welcome back after the break. We are here having our panel discussion about what we think Guyana will be like in 2030. Now, that sounds like it's far away, but it's only 5 years away. Less than 5 now. So we got a lot more to discuss, but we're going to head into this special topic that I like in particular. This is more about technology and the arts. So I want to ask the panel, how do you think AI, streaming, and social media will change storytelling and entertainment? We'll start with you because you laughed.
Okay. That's to me. Anyways, I think AI is really good if you use it properly. I think it could work in every industry, every vertical. If you're a designer, you could use it to design. There is AI in literally everything. If you're using Figma to design or whatever other tool you might be using to design, you can have it. Instead of like creating your own mock-ups yourself, now whenever you put in something, you could dash your logo in it. Immediately you could have something to show the client, the customer, whoever. If you're doing news even, or transitions, video recording, stuff like that, you don't have to go and get a drone and fly it in. You can take a photo of whatever you have and you can just be like, okay, make this look like this and then transform it. So you don't use AI fully, you do not, if you use AI fully, you remove the culture.
Correct.
So you have to mix it with what you already know, what you already have. I think it's going to propel society, and I think that you can't really fight it. You can hate some things about it. I definitely hate lots of things about it. As much as I, utilize it, it's good and it's bad. It's kind of like, they say it depends on whose hand it's in. It could be good or bad. I love everything good about it. I love the stage it's at right now, where it still takes a bit of intelligence to use it. You can't just use it just like that. A lot of people think that you just put one prompt in something and you got it.
You can't ever get it right.
Correct.
You got to put a whole.
You have to know what you're doing. For example, I can't just use AI and create like some crazy, some crazy motion graphic or something. I have to have experience. So there's something that people are saying now. A lot of people are in fear that they're going to be replaced by AI. You're not going to be replaced by AI. You're going to be replaced by somebody that's using AI.
Right.
In terms of streaming, that's a bit of a controversial topic. It depends. In Guyana, you don't really make a lot of money off of you're not really, because you're in a place where there's not a lot of globalization going on. If you are, there's something out of wait 2 weeks. You're not going to really get money from doing streaming a lot. You're not going to make money from streaming on YouTube. But there's ways, but I don't think it's the most efficient thing for someone to do. I also think next thing would be youth. A lot of youths are watching a bunch of streamers these days, and they're wasting a bunch of hours on it. You can watch people you can enjoy, but you have to remember that you have to live your life as well. You're not just living your life vicariously through someone else.
And they got to remember that a lot of these streamers that they watch on TikTok and Twitch and all this, they are monetized. They make money from doing this. But in Guyana, we still can't monetize TikTok. We still can't monetize our YouTube channels. So what are we doing it for?
The only good part about that is that we don't make YouTube ads. But at what cost?
Exactly. At what cost? What do you think in terms of using AI and design, and how do you think that's going to develop, in terms of your craft here in Guyana?
Me personally, it's a preservation for me, right? I've used AI before. It's amazing, right? And it helps me a lot, but I don't let it take over my ability to do what I want to, right? You still need to get some sort of balance between it. And I feel that's also good for our culture as well, because it helps to preserve it, right? As much as we might say AI is not good, what's not, like he said, it's how you use it, right? And if you use it to actually show what we have to offer, right, then it's preserved there on the media, right? And if we can do art, design, they'll see that art is our culture as well, and AI is learning about our culture as well. So that should be a grace period whereby, okay, we're moving somewhere. Don't see AI as a negative, use it as a positive.
So just to refresh the question again, so how will AI, streaming, and social media change storytelling and entertainment, Karen?
Thank you for refreshing that. A project that I had in mind for years, more than 20 years, as my children were growing up in the United States, I wanted to be able to share with them stories about Guyanese history in digital form. And I tried with this. This is an idea I recruited and tried and recruited from the United States. It took so long. And today with artificial intelligence, it's something that we're actually going to work on. I think that those 1.5 million people in the diaspora, those children should know stories of our culture. They should know the people who came.
Yeah.
But in today's format, in digital animated format, those are stories that you pass down. It connects you back to the homeland. And by the way, a lot of the trade that's happening between the exports from Guyana to the United States, it's the people like me who are getting older, who don't eat as much sugar anymore, whose tastes are changing from the Guyanese culture, and who are a critical market. So our children now, the next generation, I have 4. So those are the ones y'all need to be talking to, creating relationships with, selling to, connecting with. And how do you do that if you're not sharing stories of who we are, sharing our culture, sharing why sugar cake is part of us, or mitai or whatever? I'm not going to buy it. My children will. So, and by the way, all 4 of my children who were born in the United States all rep Guyana flags on Instagram. I don't know why, but they all are Guyanese.
Yeah, me too.
They all are Guyanese. So, yes, it's important. I think we could tell those stories with the technology, and we should connect. And so, for the last thing that we're not monetizing, you young people aren't able to monetize those streams and so on. That's just today. You have to keep up the culture. You have to entertain. You have to grow that audience. You have to have people from all around the world appreciate it. And then we can make a case that, okay, let's go and petition. Let's get IP in place, intellectual property and so on rights. And let's make this happen.
Yeah.
But right now, even if it doesn't happen today, you got to prepare for tomorrow.
Yes.
You know?
I agree with that. That makes so much sense. There's no point trying to build when someone's at the door.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Furnishing your apartment complex. Kissoon's local and imported line of living room, bedroom, and dining room furniture will have heads turning. Shop in store today. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
So my next question to the panel, how can Guyanese creators compete globally while staying authentic?
Everyone's brain is
Sound like
going.
you have an answer.
He's a lawyer. He always has an answer.
I beat around the bush.
You could be around the bush. That gets me caught.
I think the main thing is be your authentic self. Be creative with your authentic self. We have a thing about copying because we think that copying is gonna get us more. People want to see different, and we have to understand that people gravitate towards different. And be creative with what you have, with what God bless you with. You be creative. You have AI now. There's so much that you can get from it that you can, of course, don't get lost in, and then just have AI. Because some people know everything's AI. Don't get lost.
Let it inspire you.
Let it inspire you.
Yeah.
But then don't let your creativity run wild.
Be your authentic self. You're one of one. Well, in my case, I'm one of two because I'm
That's
twin.
true.
What do you think?
Okay, well, I don't see myself as competing with anybody.
There you go.
I love designing and styling. I'm just here in my own corner, just doing what I have to do, and I'm even amazed by what I do.
There
right?
you go.
So me as a Guyanese, sometimes I try to rein myself through that. We have other designers that is doing a phenomenal job, right? Putting our culture out there through designs, it's amazing. And I love the scent of that. I honestly love the scent of that.
I think being an authentic self in fashion is
Yeah.
so needed. Like, there is nothing like authentic African fashion. There's just nothing like it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we have to make sure that we don't compete, but we can still stand up and say there's nothing like Guyanese fashion. There's nothing like it. Do you know what I mean? That is what we're looking to do right now.
And I think a lot of times in your mind, if you do something, you think in your mind, oh, people are not gonna like this. Just throw it away. Because trust me, somebody's gonna like it. It's just one person got started with it. There's some crazy styles that people put up, and people are like, oh God, that is so ugly. And then you see everybody else wearing it. So sometimes some people crazy things that you come up with, don't be like, nah, I can't put this on because Trust me. There's
And I
some
bet
crazy
you read
person out there.
it's a song that you did that you don't like that everyone likes.
Oh yeah.
Of course. And you're gonna sing it for the rest of your days.
I love that song.
No, I love that song. I love.
Okay.
There's songs, there are like 2 songs, but people like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think when it speaks to embracing our authenticity, we need
That's
more
it.
platforms,
That's it right
you know, in the field of fashion, we need more fashion shows so that Guyanese will be able to actually see, you know, what we have on offer. And they will be able to embrace it because out of sight, out of mind, if I don't know what you're creating, how am I able to buy into you?
Exactly.
Something else as it relates to our authenticity. You know, we've seen it in music. One of the creators of a musical genre in this part of the world, Eddie Grant.
Yeah.
The genre of ring bang, it's actually labeled, cited as an official genre of music created by Eddie Grant.
I didn't know
So
that.
Yeah, yes it is.
most definitely it is. And he's one of a few persons from the Caribbean. Jackie Opel of Barbados, he's accredited with being the founder of Spooge, and Ras Shorty I, he's accredited with being the founder of Soca. But in terms of what Eddie Grant did for us, it was just embracing his authenticity, understanding very well that my music, it doesn't sound like anything else. It
That's
doesn't
right.
feel like anything else to me. So I have to label it as something different and something that is unique. And even one of the newer artists, the Gucci Boss, he's now pushing for something called sport and time music, which I think is excellent because he's also saying that the type of music he's creating as an artist, it is unique. It's not soca, it's not dancehall, it's sport and time music. So who knows if he himself will be able to be accredited as being the founder of a new genre,
never
but
know.
that's what we need. As it relates to
Okay,
preserving that authenticity, that's what we need.
Awesome. That is so amazing. I know that Gucci's out there like punch in the sky. Like, yeah, thank you for picking me up. But you know what?
Yeah.
That is so true. And we need to get behind people, especially Guyanese who are pushing authenticity and the culture. Guys, I mean, I truly enjoyed this conversation. I think we could talk forever more.
I know, right?
And more expanding. But I think we had very key people on the panel today, people that had very great things to say. And I just wanted to leave with a final thought. What legacy do you want to leave behind as a Guyanese, Karen?
I want to be able to work on an innovation in education that allows me to scale. Scale means to meet young people everywhere across the country. Scale improvements, scale enhancements in education. And I want to figure out how we do that because in our context, in our country, there's a shortage of teachers, there's a shortage of trained teachers, there's a shortage of schools, there's a shortage of all these different things. But every single day, our young people are getting older, they're missing opportunities, some of them, right? And so I want to be able to work with the ministry, with all stakeholders to create a solution that could scale across the country and give every child the opportunity at a top quality education. And I think that's just the foundation. From there, they can do whatever they want. They can do arts, music, technology, medicine, anything. But you have to have a foundation or else you just lose half of your young people every 5 years. And that's just unfair. So that's kind of my vision.
Awesome. Tristan, what legacy do you want to leave behind as a Guyanese?
As I said, I think it starts young. And I completely agree. When I was growing up, from the age of 7, my memory goes back all the way. I have memories from 2010. I was born in 06. And my memory goes all the way back. And I remember growing up, this thing, the children are the future, all of that. And in my mind, I'm like, everyone around me is really cool. I really hope that by the time I hit 18, 19, I don't see certain things in the streets. I don't see things like catcalling, stuff like that. All those things that you just don't want to see, things that you'd like to see your country better. So I think it starts early, and I think it's really admirable that you want to start early. And I think that the kids are indeed who we need to target. And also the adults as well, but it's a bit hard to teach our old dog. No offense.
None
All
taken.
of you.
None taken.
But the legacy I want to leave behind, I think Guyana has a lot of room for improvement. I think that people realize this, but they don't act on it. I like working, I like building things, and I'm hoping that I'm able to build something sustainable. There are a lot of room for improvement in this country. There's a lot of room for improvement. I can't go into details because there's a bunch of stuff I want to launch next year. Everything I'm working on is stuff I want to launch. And the property rights thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely.
I think there's a lot of room for improvement in the universities, in the schools, with businesses, with everything. Everything can be so much more organized. And I work with data so much that I can see that these things need to be fixed. And I just want to make it so that Guyana is as automated and simple and easy to use for everyone so that they don't have to worry about certain things. And I have way bigger goals than that. But overall, that is the least that I'd like to do for the people.
Awesome. Still with us? So what is your legacy? What would you like to leave behind?
Okay, I don't want to go too much into it, right? Because I'm working on it currently, but I'm just going to give the base of what I'm working on. I want to build a brand that we can call our own, right? That I can have as a Guyanese own brand, and it must be a luxury brand, right? There isn't a lot of luxury brand here in Guyana, and if we do have luxury brand, it's not supported by Guyanese, right? So I want to build a brand that we can call our own, and I want to leave that legacy behind.
That's amazing, amazing. Red? Well, you've already left quite a lot of legacy.
I have left quite
a lot of legacy.
But I'm a laborer. And we always be sharing information.
Like my mom.
Emotion, yeah. So what I want to leave is changing lives, because that's what I do. I literally meet people every day and they tell me the whole life story, and I'm like a therapist. I don't know. But I talk to people. I want to leave that. I want to change. I want to change people. Because when you change people, they become so much more. They have so much more confidence. They have so much more drive, you know? And that's what I do every single day. Not just through music, but through communicating with people. Because everybody got in a taxi to start telling about the story. And I realized, I come to the realization that, listen, this is what God put you here to do.
Exactly.
And so I'm just done with it.
Don't fight it.
I don't fight it anymore. And I'm serious. I literally go everywhere. And I don't know you, and you sit next to me, you start telling me, come. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, now I'm going to say to you. So I want to leave that, because that's what God put me here for, and I can't fight it, I can't change it. And that's what I do. That's what I do. And so I want to change lives, because when you change lives, people become better. You might save them from even committing suicide. You might save them from making a wrong decision with their family or with their spouse or with it. So I think for me, I'm content being changing, doing that.
And in terms of a musician, what I'd like to leave behind, or an artist, not just an artist, but a music business professional, I want to leave behind a real change in music law in Guyana and a real foundation. If I can create a music society for us,
part of it, yes.
it doesn't have to be, I don't care if I'm the leader. I just want to be a part of it.
Yes.
That's all. And I'm willing to work towards
I
that.
say once somebody has a start, I'm going to be there.
That's it. Whether it's the ministry or whoever else, let's have a conversation and let's get it together, people.
Yeah.
What about you, friend? I know he's got so much legacy. Well, just give us a little bit, okay? Don't take forever.
As it relates to the legacy that I would like to leave behind when all of my work is done, it has to be the legacy of being one of the most authentic Guyanese. I actually added 592 to my entertainment name, not just NEB. I want it to be known as NEB 592. So anywhere anyone sees that name, they can safely say that this person is associated with Guyana. My social media name on Facebook is The Real NEB, which also speaks to, a direct effort and attempt to be as sincere as I can possibly be. So that's definitely my legacy. I just want to be as authentic as I could possibly be. I want to be me. And in every piece of work that I release or create, there must be something that you can safely say that, yes, we can associate this with him as a Guyanese individual.
Amazing. So I think this episode is our first episode of season 3, and it has been an amazing episode. We could have been wilding out, how we do inside culture, but we thought, let's get to the culture, let's have a conversation, let's open as we mean to go on, which is promoting Guyanese around the world to the diaspora and just everyone. I want to talk about fashion, music, technology, law, just everything. What we got going on, creatives, that's what we want to showcase here on Inside Culture. And we're happy to have you with us. And we'll be back here again next week for episode 2 of Inside Culture. NEB 592. Had a great time.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Thank you to everyone on the panel as well. Tristan, Karen, everyone, Bread. You're always there. She's always there. As soon as I call her, she's there all the time. Thank you guys for joining us. And next time, we'd love to invite you back for another talk with us.
I would love to be here. We still got more to talk about.
A lot more to talk about. So guys, that was our vision on what we think 2030 in Guyana is going to look like. And we'll see you next time right here on Inside Culture.